A quiet teen, a beloved man, one unthinkable act no one saw coming. There are stories that shake a community, and then there are stories that shake the soul. This is one of them. It's the story of Warren Barnes, a gentleman known simply as the Reading Man to locals in Grand Junction, Colorado. And it's the story of Brian Cohee, a young man whose quiet exterior masked a storm of disturbing thoughts and hidden intentions. When their lives intersected in February of 2021, the outcome was devastating. What happened wasn't just a crime. It was a moment that left an entire town mourning, questioning, and trying to understand how such darkness could exist just beneath the surface of everyday life. Warren Barnes was 69 years old. Though he had no permanent home, he had something even more powerful: community. He was often seen reading paperbacks outside Monique's bridal shop, a quiet presence who never asked for much. He helped shop owners with small tasks, accepted books, snacks, and kind smiles. Those who knew him speak of his calm spirit, his love for reading, and the way he greeted others with a heartfelt "and you also." To the community, Warren wasn't a nameless man on the street. He was a friend, a neighbor, a piece of what made their town feel human. On the evening of February 27, 2021, Warren was sleeping near a bridge on Crosby Avenue, a spot he had chosen many times before. He wasn't alone. Nearby, 19-year-old Brian Cohee was circling the area. He had been doing that for weeks, watching, waiting. Brian Cohee had grown up battling multiple mental health issues. Diagnosed with ADHD at 5, and later with autism and major depressive disorder, his challenges were real. But within him was something else, something deeply unsettling. Years before, he had mutilated a cat and kept its remains in his home. In school, his obsession with serial killers, particularly Jeffrey Dahmer, earned him the same nickname. He spent nights driving around, surveilling homeless encampments, harboring a chilling belief that no one would notice if a homeless person disappeared. That night, he made a decision. Wearing 3 layers of gloves, he approached Warren as he slept. When confronted, Warren reportedly cried out in confusion and fear, asking, "Why?" But it was too late. What followed was brutal. Brian took parts of Warren's body back to his family's home and hid them in his bedroom closet. 2 days later, on March 1, 2021, his mother made a discovery that would change their lives forever: decomposing remains inside her son's room. Horrified, she called the police. When they arrived, Brian walked up to them calmly and confessed. He said, "I've always wondered what murder felt like." The rest of Warren's body had been left behind, and Brian had attempted to dispose of it at the Colorado River. His car got stuck. Police touted it without suspecting anything at the time. But now, the truth was out. The trial began in January 2023. Brian's defense team pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. They pointed to his diagnosis, environmental stress, and claimed he had experienced a psychotic break. But the prosecution argued otherwise. They presented evidence that Brian had planned the act for months. He had created a kit, a knife, gloves, plastic bags, and even labeled the act in his phone as "first." 2 court-appointed psychologists determined he knew right from wrong at the time of the murder. The jury took just 2 days to reach a verdict. On February 3, 2023, Brian Cohee was found guilty of first-degree murder and 2 counts of tampering with evidence. On February 6, he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He showed no emotion as the sentence was read. In the courtroom, Warren's family and friends shared memories and grief. His cousin spoke of his generosity. His sister recalled their last phone call. Others remembered his simple kindness, the way he shared his sandwiches with birds, the way he never begged, never asked for much. A memorial now stands where Warren once sat, a metal chair etched with the names of his favorite books and the words, "And you also." The story of Brian Cohee is not just about a crime. It's about mental health. It's about the unseen lives we pass every day. And it's about the devastating cost of assuming that some lives matter less than others. Warren Barnes was not forgotten. He was not invisible. He was deeply loved. And while justice has been served, the loss remains. This story leaves us with questions that go beyond guilt or innocence. What can be done to better address untreated mental illness? How do we see those living without homes? As human beings or as shadows? And how do we build a world where empathy comes before judgment? Thank you for listening to this story. If it moved you, share it. Talk about it. Remember Warren Barnes, and let this story be a reminder. Behind every face, no matter how quiet or overlooked, is a life that matters. Follow for more true stories that look beyond the headlines and into the hearts of those we've lost.